Moves to explore for oil off the west coast and a Russian engineer found guilty of treason. Good afternoon. South Africa has granted the Royal Dutch Shell Company the right to explore for oil and gas in the Orange Basin off the country's west coast. The exploration covers over 37,000 square kilometres in water depths of more than 500 metres close to the Namibian border. South Africa's General Manager for Shell, Jan Willem Eggenk, says they've been limited exploration activity in the area.
This is a very exciting opportunity for us and also for South Africa. Our plan is to start investigations as soon as we can on this. And the interesting thing for South Africa in a way is this is another opportunity, we hope, like the shale gas in the Karoo, to find energy which is really required in South Africa. There's a huge energy challenge looming in South Africa for the next decades.
The Treatment Action Campaign has questioned what it terms President Jacob Zuma's failure to highlight challenges that the health sector is facing in his State of the Nation address. It says instead the president opted to talk about the progress made in the fight against HIV/AIDS without giving details on how government would scale up programs that have proved to be effective in the fight against the pandemic. TAC Chairperson Nonkosi Khumalo.
What is the government strategy in ensuring that we maintain what is there but make sure that we scale up in a big way based on the science that is now available on prevention as treatment? He did not do any justice in highlighting what he thinks are the challenges within the healthcare system, not just for HIV, but the serious inefficiencies and undercapacitating of the provincial departments of health. And we're seeing that it would have a greater impact in the failing of the HIV programs, but generally the provision of health services.
Government has announced what it calls a groundbreaking 1.6 billion rand investment project in partnership with international companies. The venture, called Ketlapela, is a collaboration with a leading Swiss pharmaceutical company, Lonza. It will build the first pharmaceutical plant for the manufacturing of HIV/AIDS-related drugs in South Africa. 3 government departments led by Science and Technology Minister Naledi Pandor will be involved in the initiative. Pandor says an interdepartmental task team has been established to negotiate the modalities and incentives needed to ensure the financial viability of the project. She says funding will come from various state institutions, including the Industrial Development Corporation.
The joint venture will be named Ketlapela. It will establish the first pharmaceutical plant to manufacture active pharmaceutical ingredients for antiretroviral medicines in South Africa. Ketlapela is a South African Sesotho word meaning I will live or survive. The new pharmaceutical company will be created in partnership with the Swiss company Lonza and a South African state-owned company, Palchem Limited, which is a subsidiary of the Nuclear Energy Corporation.
The SACP has come out in support of next month's COSATU planned national strike against the use of labour brokers. The party's General Secretary, Blade Nzimande, says the issue of banning labour brokers should be concluded speedily as the trade is tantamount to human trafficking. Nzimande has criticised businesses for embracing labour brokers.
The view of the SACP is that we don't need labour brokers. That's why we support COSATU on this. It's a struggle that we're going to continue to wage together with the workers in this country. Business, of course, we are not surprised because they want cheap labour, which is South Africa's problem, by the way. That we have inherited a system that has been dependent on cheap labour. By the way, that's the reason why we don't have skills.
The case of 15 people who were arrested last year during the public violence at Vicksburg in the Eastern Free State has been postponed to May the 3rd and 4th this year. The march made headlines as it led to the death of community leader Andries Tatani. The 15 accused were among thousands of community members who marched to the Setsoto local municipality to demand better service delivery. 8 police officers charged with Tatani's assault and murder are due back in court in April. Further afield, an engineer at Russia's Plesetsk space station has been convicted of treason after being found guilty of selling missile test data to the CIA. Lieutenant Colonel Vladimir Nestorets, a senior test engineer at the station, will serve a 13-year jail term. Russia's FSB secret police say he admitted to passing on information about tests involving Russia's latest strategic missiles. Your top story at 5. South Africa has granted the Royal Dutch Shell Company the right to explore for oil and gas in the Orange Basin off the country's west coast.